Fascinating video today. The other night, I had a dream where I was having sex with Putin. This was not my first dream about having sex with Putin. Throughout his 20-year presidency, I've had quite a few of those dreams where I was either in a relationship with him, there was something romantic but sexual, always something sexual in it. Do I actually want to have sex with Putin in our everyday conscious reality? Stay tuned, I will tell you all about it and more. So, according to a research, at least 70% of people on the planet are having sex dreams. Are they normal? Yes, absolutely. What are the most common sex dreams that we see? Having sex with a boss, especially popular for women. Having sex with a stranger, both popular for women and men. Having sex with current partners, with ex-partners, or with some sort of authority figure or celebrity, also very popular for women. This is where it gets really interesting. There's this book called A Billion Wicked Thoughts, written by two neuroscientists who interviewed a bunch of Google engineers who were looking at millions of Google searches related to sex, both women and men, and they separated male searches and female searches. And it's not a surprise that male were seeking out pornographic images, right? Something visual. And then female were looking out pornographic literary products. What do I say over and over again in my videos about female sexual arousal? Context, right? So they want a story around sex, not just the physical parts. Men were inclined to look for like big breasts and big butt and beautiful feet, and then women cared about the emotional aspect, this erotic scenario. So a story goes like this. An innocent girl, well-behaved girl, encounters some sort of monster. Vampires, very popular. Werewolves, very popular. Some sort of pirate, some sort of like dangerous, monstrous man, right? Why, right? It runs so deep, right? We actually don't want someone that's not scary and dangerous. We want that danger, we want that monster in a man, right? But what Jordan Peterson pointed out, we want to tame it, right? There is no interest in getting with someone who's already tamed. We want that monster inside. And plus, he also points out that you want a man to have that monster inside because you need it, right? In dangerous situation, a woman needs to be protected, so she wants to see that danger. That's what's exciting for her sexually. So after they analyzed all the data, they have come to a conclusion that number one sexual cue for women was what? Confidence in the potential mate. Confidence, dominance, leadership. That's what turns women on. And number two was competence. He has to be good at something that he does. So a very common sexual fantasy, it's some kind of a doctor, a surgeon, like he's good at something that he does. He knows how to fix my body or save me from death. And they've also found, and this wasn't news but rather confirmation, is that female physical sexual arousal is in sync with their psychological arousal, right? But not for women. And I've actually made a whole video about that. Watch it right here. You'll find the link down below after you finish watching this video. That's about non-concordance, right? In female desire. So look, I'll tell you, I have a dog that I love. She comes and she licks my hand, and I notice how my clitoris responds to it. My clitoris gets erect towards my dog licking my hand. Do I want to have sex with my dog? No, right? So, we can see dogs having sex, our bodies react to it, our bodies start to wake up, but not our psychology, because it takes more, right? It makes sense, it has to be this way, because consequences for women having sex, and especially before birth control, was much more drastic, right? So she actually needs to make sure that that man will stick around and provide for her and protect her and her baby. Right? That's why subconsciously we seek out these powerful men who can protect, provide. for us. So our physical sexual arousal is separate from our psychological sexual arousal, right? So when two of those aspects are in sync, then a woman is really ready and open to have a great sexual experience with you. So going back about me dreaming of having sex with Putin multiple times throughout my life, what is this? Do I actually want to have sex with him in real life? No, I actually, those dreams, they're so vivid. You wake up, you're like, oh my God. You go online and you look at the person and it's like, I'm not really attracted to you. I just remembered when I was working at the hot restaurant in Manhattan, Stunts and Social, my favorite place that I used to work at. It was a big restaurant. We had lots of service and bartenders there. And now I remember I used to go home and I used to dream about having sex with certain guys in the restaurant. And I would come back to work and I was like, oh, I just had sex with you. And I wouldn't even remember, but when I looked at them, I was like, oh, I had sex in my dream with you. Was I attracted to them? No. And a lot of us were having those sex dreams within our servers community back there. So it's normal. So it's not necessarily who you attract, either like, okay, I'm attracted and I want to have sex with him. It's what that person represents for you, right? That's what I'm driving at. So do I like Putin? Do I want to have sex with him? No, I'm not attracted to him physically at all. And I used to despise him. I've calmed down a little bit, but I regard him as a monster, in fact. What was I driving, all of this talk to? I think he's a monster. And I actually know people who work with him or work for him. And those two men that I've talked to, very interesting story. They said to me basically the same story along these lines, that he didn't do anything bad for me. In fact, he's been very generous with me, and that's what he does. He's very generous with people around him, right? But he put Russia on its knees. That's exactly the words that one of the men used. He gave me everything, but he put Russia on its knees, right? Because I've been living in America for 20 years, I look at the situation and what he does differently as to how majority of people view him in Russia, because they keep voting for him anyways. Like, you cannot say anything critical about Putin to my father. He'll just say I'm an American spy, and at the end of conversation. But I regard Putin as for sure a true leader, someone that's very smart, someone very powerful, and a monster that surely needs to be tamed. I don't think that's happening in this lifetime for him, but and somehow, and because I've been following the events, what's happening between Russia and Ukraine, because I'm from both countries, and somehow my conscious and subconscious mind met together and made me have sex with him in my dream, right? So fascinating. So if you had a dream cheating on your partner, it doesn't necessarily mean that you want to cheat, right? I don't know what that means. Nobody does. Everybody has different opinions. Only you probably would know, reflecting back and trying to maybe meditate and see what's going on, right? Maybe there's something in the relationship that needs to be addressed, or who knows? Not that I'm trying to actually remember the details of that dream, my last dream with Putin. I can't even remember it, but I remember some time ago I had a dream. It was so powerful and hot, because it was like I was brought by helicopters in one of his secretive mansion, and nobody was supposed to know. And we know that he was or is with Kabaeva, with the Olympic champion in the gymnastics. And I remember I was talking to her. I was like, because I don't want to cheat or do something behind anyone's back. And I remember she was almost giving me this pass, like, you're allowed to be my husband's, or whatever he is, my partner's mistress. And that was very aroused in the whole story. You see, that was like a whole story around that sexual act. So yes, women are more complicated. Our lives are more complicated. So please, I understand how difficult for you might be to try to understand this. Trust me, we don't really understand ourselves. So on behalf of all womankind, I would like to thank you for your patience, for your kindness, and for your love towards us. Now, I'm still conducting my research, so please remember to drop me a note with the subject line research. You'll find the email in the description below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.